She looked like a quiet civilian, just eating alone in the mess hall. No rank, no power, no reason for anyone to notice her. But when the lights flickered, when the submarine shuddered like something outside had touched the hull, the chief of the boat suddenly stood at full attention, not because he recognized her face, but because the Black Ridge's hidden system did. Every locked console lit up, every door sealed, and a voice the Navy swore was deleted decades ago whispered the truth. Primary Operative Ava Lennox, reinstated. She wasn't a guest. She wasn't a civilian. She was the one the ocean had come back to claim. She wasn't supposed to stand out. Not on a submarine where everyone wore the same uniform, moved on the same schedule, breathed the same metal-scented air. She slipped in like background noise, quiet, tired, unnoticed. Her name on the boarding roster was Anna Mercer, a civilian analyst, a temporary observer, someone the crew thought didn't matter. And yet, on that cold morning inside the USS Black Ridge's mess hall, she carried an aura the sailors couldn't quite explain. She sat alone at a corner table, eating slowly, eyes lowered, shoulders slightly hunched, as if she was trying to fold herself into the shadows. No one would have looked twice at her, except strange things happened whenever she walked into a room. Conversation softened. Movement slowed. Even the low hum of the submarine seemed to shift, as if the steel walls themselves acknowledged her presence. The younger sailors joked about it at first. "She's weird," Ross whispered as he loaded his tray. "She eats like she's listening to something no one else hears." "Probably counting calories," Mason muttered. "Or solving math problems. Analysts are all the same." They laughed. Careless. Immature. But Anna didn't react. She didn't look up. Not even once. What none of them noticed, not yet, was that she kept glancing at the bulkhead above her, specifically the ventilation grill, almost like she was waiting for something to come through it. The chief of the boat, Chief Harris, entered the mess hall moments later, a tall, battle-weathered man with the kind of presence that made sailors straighten without thinking. He carried a mug of black coffee and a clipboard, reviewing morning maintenance logs. He didn't notice Anna at first, not until the overhead lights flickered. Twice, a subtle warning, the kind only someone trained to see would understand. Anna Mercer stopped chewing, and the submarine seemed to hold its breath. The lights stabilized. Conversation resumed, but Chief Harris had caught her reaction. Small, controlled, too controlled for a civilian. He frowned. Something about her posture, something about the way she didn't even look nervous, almost as if she expected the flicker. He approached a nearby table. "Electrical glitch?" he asked two sailors. "Probably nothing, Chief," one replied. "We've been running diagnostics all morning." Harris grunted, but didn't look convinced. Anna Mercer kept eating. 3 more sailors entered the mess hall, carrying trays and talking loudly about the training drill scheduled after lunch. One of them, Owen, nudged his friend. "Hey, that's her, right? The analyst from the harbor office." "Yeah," his friend whispered back. "The captain said she's just here to observe sonar procedures." Owen snorted. "Then why does she act like she knows this boat better than we do?" Before his friend could respond, the submarine shuddered. Not sharply, not violently, just a faint vibration, too subtle for most of the crew to notice. But Anna noticed. She froze mid-bite, placing her fork down slowly, carefully, as though sudden movement might draw attention she didn't want. Chief Harris felt it too. His eyes narrowed. "That wasn't an engine vibration." Owen shrugged. "Felt like nothing to me, Chief." "It wasn't nothing," Harris said quietly. Anna Mercer exhaled, slow and measured. Her fingers curled slightly around the edge of the table. She reached down to her ankle, adjusting a loose strap on her boot. Except the strap wasn't loose. She was checking something. Harris saw it. He didn't say a word. Instead, the submarine's PA system crackled. A faint beep, a distorted tone, then silence. Every sailor froze. "Chief," the comms officer called from the hallway. The internal alert channel just reset itself. "Reset?" Harris snapped. "Why?" "No idea, sir. It didn't come from the bridge." Sailors exchanged nervous glances. Anna slowly lifted her head. For the first time all morning, she looked directly at Chief Harris. And the moment their eyes met, something in the room shifted. Not fear, not surprise. Recognition. Harris's breath hitched. His posture changed instantly. Straightening, stiffening, as if his body responded before his mind caught up. He wasn't standing in a mess hall anymore. He was standing before someone his training had taught him to respect or obey. Anna Mercer stood up slowly, pushing her tray aside. Her movements were controlled, precise, too precise for a civilian. Owen whispered, "Why is the chief standing like that?" Anna stared at Harris, her voice low, steady. "Your internal network is being probed." The room went silent. Harris swallowed. "That's impossible. The Blackridge's network is isolated." "It was," Anna replied. "Until 10 minutes ago." "By who?" he asked. Anna's gaze drifted toward the bulkhead where the lights had flickered. "Not who," she corrected softly. "What?" The PA system beeped again. Sharper, clearer. Every sailor instinctively turned. A robotic, unfamiliar voice filled the submarine. "Security query. Identify Operative Mercer. Priority level. Sovereign." The sailors paled. Sovereign authorization didn't exist in any naval protocol. Not publicly. "That voice," Harris whispered. Anna closed her eyes for a moment, the weight of inevitability settling over her like deep water. "I told them not to follow me," she murmured. "I told them I was done." Owen stepped back. "Tell who?" "What's happening?" Before Anna could answer, the hull vibrated, hard this time. Like something massive had brushed against the submarine from outside. Sailors dropped their trays. Alarms flickered half awake. The mess hall lights dimmed to red. Chief Harris turned toward the doorway. "All stations. Prepare for—" He didn't finish, because the submarine's AI, one that shouldn't have any autonomous voice at all, interrupted him. "Operative Mercer. Contact confirmed. Access requested." Anna Mercer exhaled deeply. Then she stepped away from her table. And every sailor watched in stunned silence as Chief Harris, the highest-ranking enlisted man on the submarine, stood automatically at attention, not because she outranked him, but because something in him recognized exactly what she was, even if he didn't understand it yet. And Anna Mercer, the woman who had been eating alone moments earlier, walked toward the corridor with a calmness that terrified everyone watching her. The submarine wasn't reacting to the crew. It was reacting to her. And it wasn't finished. The mess hall didn't feel like a room anymore. It felt like a pressure chamber, one where every breath depended on her next move. Chief Rowan stood frozen, spine locked straight, eyes fixed on the quiet woman who had been eating soup as if she belonged in the shadows. But now the entire submarine waited in her next word. Ava Lennox finally set her spoon down. "Chief?" she said softly. "Who gave the order to surface?" The chief swallowed, his voice trembling the way steel trembles before it snaps. "You did, ma'am." The crew stared. Ava didn't move. "I didn't give any order," she replied calmly. "No, ma'am," Rowan whispered. "Not today. The order came from your authorization decades ago." The floor vibrated with a low, unnatural hum, nothing like the normal thrum of submarine engines. Lights dimmed, consoles flickered. and a cold blue glow pulsed along the walls as if the submarine itself had awakened. A young officer rushed in, panic tightening his voice. "Captain, control room systems just switched to an old override protocol. Classified level. We can't access anything." The captain turned, stunned. "What level?" The officer hesitated. "Spectre 3, sir." Everyone froze. Spectre level clearance didn't just outrank the captain. It outranked the entire Pacific Fleet. Ava slowly stood from her seat, hands resting on the metal table. "Captain," she said, "your submarine is responding to something buried in its memory. Something it wasn't supposed to remember." The deck trembled again, this time with intention. Screens across the hall activated at once. A single face appeared. Her own. Younger. Colder. Eyes sharper than knives. A robotic voice followed. "Primary Operative Ava Len X. Status reinstated." The mess hall fell silent. The captain finally found words. "What are you—" "Exactly." Ava inhaled slowly. "I was part of the deep signal program," she said. "We trained to guide submarines through areas where maps fail, where compasses die, places the ocean itself tries to hide." The chief whispered, terrified. "Ma'am, that program was shut down. Everyone said those operatives died." She looked at him. No anger, no softness. "Yes, that's what they were told." The lights snapped to red. A siren, one no sailor had ever heard, howled through the submarine. "Unmarked vessel approaching, 0 identifiable signatures, doors locked by Spectre protocol." The captain ran toward the control room. "Someone explain why my submarine won't obey my commands." But Ava was already moving, walking with purpose toward the forward hatch. Because she had felt it. Not the vibration, not the siren. Something deeper. A pulse. An old signal she thought had died with her team. Liam, the youngest sailor on board, chased after her. "Ava, what's coming?" She paused at the end of the hall, her silhouette outlined by the strobing red light. "A vessel identical to this one," she said quietly, "except it was never built by the Navy." The crew stared in disbelief. "What does it want?" Liam whispered. Ava turned her eyes toward the metal floor, almost as if she could see through the hull, through the ocean, to the dark shape rising below. "It wants to finish what the program started," she said. "And it wants the only operative who survived." The submarine jolted violently, metal shrieking like something enormous had collided with it from below. The chief shouted, "Captain, something's attaching to our hull. Drills, cutting equipment. Whatever it is, it's breaching us." The captain turned to Ava, voice echoing with fear. "Is this because of you?" Ava met his eyes with a truth that cut sharper than steel. "Yes, and if you open that hatch, none of you survive." A final blast echoed through the submarine, one that shook plates off shelves and rattled every soul aboard. The breech door bulged inward. A shadow moved behind it. Ava stepped forward, calm, resigned, unflinching. "Captain," she said quietly, "keep your crew back." The metal groaned. Bolts popped out one by one. Liam yelled, "Ava, don't!" She didn't turn. "They're not here for you," she said. The hatch ripped open. Cold mist flooded the corridor. Figures stepped through. Dark suits, mask-like helmets, movements too precise to be human. The first one lifted its head toward her. A mechanical voice spoke. "Operative Ava Lendenis, return." The crew stumbled backward. Ava took one step forward. "No," she said. "I'm not yours anymore." But the figures advanced, and Ava Lennox, the woman who had simply been eating alone in the mess hall minutes before, lifted her chin, facing the ghosts who had climbed up from the deep to reclaim her. The submarine held its breath, because the ocean outside wasn't threatening them. It was summoning her,